Watchman of the lake. Village headman. King. Mara, watchman of the lake. Ganga, his son. Son, Ganga's son. Bhima, a road worker. Others. On the eastern base of Baba Budan Hills, in Karnataka state, there is an obscure little place now called Sakrapatna, which at one time, 1,000 or more years ago, was the capital of a king called Rukmangada. In the center of this town there is a shrine which is dedicated not to distant gods or heroes but to a rustic, who was watchman of a lake called Iyanka, 4 miles from the town. For the purposes of this little drama let us call him Mara, which is as good as any other name handed down to us by tradition. Seneone. A village at the foot of a hill. Roadman is at work. Villageheadman. Go on, boys. Go on with your work. Hey, you, Racha, why do you stand looking at the sky? You there, you wretched dog, I will push you into the stream if I catch you again gossiping with your neighbor. You dwarf there, have you no better business than giggling and talking? The road must be ready before the king arrives. Just think for a moment, fools, how we should all look if the king suddenly came upon us. Just think, he will be here this time tomorrow. Go on with your work, brother. Anyway, what makes you all so merry? Let me know and share the joke. Come here, commanding, come here. Why are you both laughing? Tell me, too timid, don't blink. What is it? Voices, master. We were doing our work all right. But, headman, but what? Timid workman. It is Mara. Headman, ah, Mara, what about him? Is that lunatic anywhere here? Timid workman. Yes. He was behind that rock and peeped at us. When you called, he ran away. Headman, where is he now? Which way did he go? Timid workman. He sprang off like a buck and ran up the hill. Headman, here, stop all work. Put down your spades and crowbars and run and close round. Stop all ways out. Catch that thief and bring him here. Stun him with a blow if he resists. Bring him at once. Go. The workmen throw down their implements and scatter about. They return, crying, Master, here he is. Headman, Mara, you worthless dog. Have I not told you to keep away from here? Mara, yes, my master. Headman, what do you mean by coming here and disturbing my workmen? Mara, I am not disturbing them. I am here on my own work. Let them go on with theirs. Headman, don't talk of your work. Fool, you are a lunatic. Know it. Don't imagine you have any kind of work. The only work you have now is to disappear. Mara, why so? Headman, don't ask. I have told you the reason 20 times. The king is passing this way and I don't want him to know that our village has such fools as you. Mara, I don't feel I am a fool. Headman, now listen. Keep out of our view the next 2 days, when the king passes this way and back. Otherwise I will have you locked up in the cellar behind that old temple. Mara, I will sit there and pray. If that god in the temple thinks I have work to do, he will take me out. Headman, now, get out of my presence. You fellows, why do you all stand gaping at me? Get on with your. Mara, once again the goddess of the river came to me in the dream and said, the king is coming this way. Tell him about the tank. He will listen. Quote. Headman, don't tell me that again, you in your dream. I feel tempted to kick you. Mara, what have I said to offend you so much, sir? Ah, you're jealous that the goddess comes to me rather than to you in dream. Shall I repeat the very words she uttered? Headman, no, be off. And like a good fellow keep to your backyard till the king departs. I will give you a fine gift if you behave yourself. Mara, another person has already given me the greatest gift any man could give. Shall I say who that person is? Headman, oh, who is that great man? Mara, my father-in-law. The workmen laugh at this joke. Headman, shouting in anger, stop laughing everyone. I will starve you all without work if I catch you again laughing at this fellow's mad prattle. Shut up. Come here, Bhima. Throw down your crowbar. I have another piece of work for you. Come here, Bhima. Yes, master, I have come. What is your command? Headman, bind this fellow hand and foot and throw him into the cellar behind the old temple and keep him there till the day after tomorrow. Do you understand? Bhima, yes, master. Headman, Mara, have a look at this giant. He can swing an elephant by its tail. So have a care. If you try any tricks on him, he will crush you between his thumb and forefinger. Mara, How did you manage to grow so fat? Bhima, my mother gave me iron decoction when I was a baby. And at every dawn I run up the hill with a large grindstone on my back. It is a very big stone. You can't move it even an inch. Headman, here, don't answer his questions. Don't allow him to talk to you. Mara, why not? I too would like to grow fat and strong. If taking iron decoction and carrying grindstones uphill could make me strong, why should I not try it? Maybe you will not think me mad then. Bhima, you can't take the decoction now. Your mother should have put it into you before you were 10 days old. Headman, Bhima, don't you talk to him. Don't you see he is your prisoner? Bhima, yes, yes. I will be careful hereafter. But who will do my work here? Headman, don't concern yourself with it. You will get your wages all the same, perhaps a quarter more, if you do this bit of work well. Now take him away and sit over him till the evening of the day after tomorrow. Take him away. Drag him like an animal if he resists. Mara, no, no. I won't resist. I will go with him gladly, come on, come on. I will tell you all about my dream as we go. Headman, Bhima, don't allow him to do that. He wants to talk to you and slip away while you are listening. Now bind up his wrists together with your turban and drag him behind you, gag him if possible. Ah, that is good. Now it should quieten him. Now begone. How our time has been wasted. Now swing your arms faster. You must have the path ready even if you have to work by lamplight after dark. SCENETWO. Trumpets blowing, restrained cheering of crowds, etc. Announce the arrival of the king. Suddenly there is confusion. As the king is about to pass under a tree, someone jumps down from its branches. A medley of voices crying, where did he jump from? Who is he? Hold him. King, silence. Who is this man? Answering voice, Your gracious majesty. This man. King, we will hear the man himself speak. Answering voice, Your majesty. He is unworthy of your majesties. Notice. King, we will hear the man himself speak. Let him be brought forward. The man is dragged before the king. Who are you? Where did you drop from? Mara, Your gracious majesty, I am an unworthy dog. But I have a word to convey to your gracious ears, and after I have uttered it, I shall gladly allow myself to be trampled under the feet of the mighty elephant which bears your royal person. King, where were you all the time? In the tree. Mara, yes, your majesty. I was there since the cock crew this morning. I knew the royal passage lay here. King, waiting in a tree. You could have asked for an audience. Mara, they stoned me at sight. And commanded me to take myself out of the village. When I still appeared, they bound and threw me in a cellar. But the man who was my jailer, though a giant in appearance, has the soul of a baby. He let me go when he heard of my dream and the command of the goddess. And I slipped out unseen and climbed the tree and hid myself in its leaves, waiting and praying for your majesty's gracious arrival. King, what do you want? Mara, now listen to me, most high. Where your majesty now stands as a sacred spot. There once stood the great Hanuman on the day Lakshmana was wounded in the battlefield at Lanka and lay in a deadly faint. Guided by omens, Hanuman came here, and then he went up the mountain in whose shadow your majesty is resting now. There on its crest he found Sanjeevani. He flew to Lanka with it, and at its breath Yama's messenger fled, and Lakshmana rose to his feet with a new life. Such was the power of Sanjeevani, and where it grew there arose a stream, which came down the mountain and now flows past your majesty's feet. It is called the Veda. Its water is the very lifeblood of your majesty's humble subjects. King, do the waters flow on all the months of the year? Mara, your majesty, I am coming to it. The water has flowed on since the day Hanuman took the Sanjeevani. Its birth is in the fleeting mists of the mountain top, and it dances its way through rare flowers and forests which clothe the mountainside, before it comes down to our village. And what do we do? My lord, here I will repeat the command of the goddess. I saw her in a vision as I lay in my hut. I had never seen her before. She stood before me, her tresses flying in the wind, there were stars in her coronet. A ruby as big as the eyes of that elephant sparkled on her forehead for a red mark. Her garment was of gold woven with lightning. A look at her, and I knew it was the mother. I fell at her feet, and she said, The river Veda which you see at the foot of the hill and from which you drink water is my very own plaything. It carries in its bosom the nectar which revives gods and nourishes mortals. But when the summer sun bakes your soil, I keep my pet, sheltered in the cool glades of the mountain, and then you die of drought. When summer ends and you have water again, you take what you want and allow the precious stream to dissipate and perish in the foul marshes far off. I command you, tell your king to build a tank and not to let Veda leave this village. Give her home. These were the words of the goddess. I have repeated them. Your Majesty may trample me down under your elephant now. King, far from it. You have the grace of gods upon you. Your words are weighty. When we return this way tomorrow, accompany us to the capital. Mara, forgive me, gracious one, I have only these rags to wear, and I am Mara the Mad. How can I follow your Majesty to the capital? King, our command is clear. Mara, I obey. Scenethree. Many years later, Mara standing before his hut on the bank of a vast lake. There is a mingled noise of wavelets breaking upon the shore, cries of gulls, and the rustling of tree leaves. Closing parenthesis. Mara, hallooing, boy, little man, Ganga, Ganga. Adistantvoice, Father, I am coming. Mara, where are you gone, little man? Sound of running feet. Ganga, here I am, Father. You are shouting as if something or the other had happened. I was only behind that tree watching. Mara, what were you watching? Ganga, there is a man fishing in the lake. Mara, fishing, where? Runs. Son follows him. Closing parenthesis. Hey, man, get up. What are you doing here? Man, nothing. Mara, nothing. Then why that rod and hook in your hand? And how did all this fish come into your basket? Did they walk in while you were watching the sky? Go, man, go before you are pushed into the lake. Man, no, I was not catching fish. I speak the truth. Mara, I have been a watchman of this lake for years, and I have come across hundreds of storytellers like you. This is my last warning to you. If I see you again with that rod and hook, I will push you into the water and the fish will feed on you. Do you understand? Now here go your fish back where they belong. Do you see, my son? When I am gone, you will be the guard here. This is what you must do with killers, whether they come with arrow for the gulls which skim over the water or with the rod for the fish. This place is sacred and belongs to the goddess. And her command is that nothing that flies or swims or walks in these parts should ever be killed. From my hut I have often seen at dead of night a tiger come down from the mountain, slaking its thirst at that distant corner. But even that has to go untouched, such is the command of the goddess and the king. Now begone, you fish. Man, you are after all only a watchman. You are not the master of this place. Are you not taking upon yourself more than your duty? Mara, I am the master of this place. The king made me so. But for me Veda would have run away and disappeared, as she was doing before. It is I who gave her a home, where she stays and nourishes the cornfields of thousands of the king's subjects. Now look along the bank, do you note its length? A fling from the strongest sling will not take stone to the other end of the bank, and I, by the king's order, watched every stone with which this bank was built. And I opened the gates that let the water into the fields. I know how much to give and when to stop, and I tend the lake and see that it is not polluted by man or beast. Even that headman of the village who once beat and bullied me, will have to beg my permission if he wants to touch the water. Here I am the king. No one can question me. Now go away. I have spoken to you more than you deserve. Now little fellow, my son, you see that man there taking his cow to the water's edge. Run on and tell him not to take it there. It is very deep at that spot. If his cow slips, warn him to move off a little. Go on. The boy runs away. A visitor, Mara. Mara, oh, brother, when did you come? Visitor, just this moment. I left my village at sundown yesterday. And I have walked without a pause. Mara, come into my hut and have some food. There is bound to be something you can munch, though nothing very good. My wife is away. I and my son are running the house. Visitor, I have come all the way to ask a favor of you. You know our village is the farthest in our king's domain, and crops parch up and cattle are dying of drought. Will you give us some water? Mara, certainly, brother. It is here for all the king's subjects to take. Tomorrow I will come with you and see where you can lay the channels, and as soon as you have done it, the water is yours, it will be led to you according to the law laid down by the king. Ah, do you notice that, hey? Heart of the lake muddying. It was sapphire like only a moment ago. Ah, see those clouds at the mountain top, there is heavy rain there. Veda is swelling and carrying mud and flood into the lake. I must keep an eye on her tonight, calling, boy, come here. Let us go in, I fear there will be heavy rain on us soon. Scenefour. Late at night. Torrential downpour and a shrieking storm. The king's palace. The bell at the palace gate ringing incessantly. King, who is so urgently summoning me at this hour? What has happened in this terrible night of storm? Go down and see who it is. The bell ceases, and sound of footsteps. Closing parenthesis. Who are you, man? What has happened that you should be calling us this hour? Why are you gasping so badly? Man, I have been running. King, in this storm. Who are you? What has happened? Man, I am Mara, watchman of the lake, most high. King, ah Mara. How different you are now, battered by this rain, with your hair plastered on your face and all that water dripping down. Mara, I beg your majesty's grace for bringing my presence here in state. I have come running, battling with roaring wind and through slush and raging torrents. Forgive me, your majesty. I am trembling with the message within me. May I utter it? King, yes. Mara, my lord, it is the. It is about the lake. It is about the lake. I feel faint to mention it. King, oh, tell me, what has happened? Mara, it is about to smash its bounds. King, Mara, are you mad? Are you sure your mind is your own? Mara, your majesty, till the evening there was no sign of a coming rain. It was a beautiful bright day, unruffled. The lake mirrored the blue sky on its bosom. But at dusk the sky darkened. I called my son in and shut the door of my hut. Raindrops battered my roof. At midnight the wind rocked my hut. I got up and went out. My heart was disturbed. King, oh, tell me, is the lake going to break? Mara, your majesty will know it presently. I rose from my bed and went out. Ah, I have never seen anything more terrible in my life, my lord. Veda was thundering down the mountain. The wind shook the earth. I went to the edge of the water. The waves rose to a man's height and hammered at the bank. The water level was just a hair's breadth below the shore. Any moment it might heave and flow over. King, Mara, was the lake, ah, what is to happen to all of us? Mara, I fell down and prayed. The goddess stood before me. Her tresses were wild. Her eyes gleamed with a strange light. She carried a sword in her hand and she had splashed her forehead with vermilion. I cowered at the sight of her. Get up and hear me intently, she said. I am the goddess of the lake, and that river Veda is my plaything. Clear out of your hut at once. Mother, save me. What is going to happen? I asked. I am going to kick away the miserable stones you have piled up to imprison the waters of my Veda. I am going to destroy your tank. Mother, we put it up at your command, I said. Yes, and now I want to destroy it. It is my mood now. Veda is my plaything. I created it when I wanted it, and I will splash away its waters when I like. Who are you to stop me? She replied. King, Mara, are you speaking the truth? Mara, your majesty, may my son and wife perish if there is a word of untruth in what I am saying. King, go on with your story. Mara, I pleaded with her. I pointed out to her the vastness of the lake, the water stretching the length of the hill and going in a bend out of sight, the whole of it kept back by a bank, which would take a quarter of a day to cross. But all that she would say to it was, why do you make much of it ? I told her that all that water waited like a crouching tiger and would spring upon the 100 villages and towns and the king's capital beyond, if the bank was removed. She laughed at it and flourished her sword. I pleaded with her for hours to spare us and have pity on us poor mortals. But she was not to be moved. A most terrible and reckless mood of destruction seemed to have come upon the goddess. I fell on the wet ground, prostrated before her and begged, a poor mortal like me cannot stop you, O divine mother. But grant me this. I will run to the capital and inform the king, and return. Till then stay your hand. When you see me here again, you may carry out the devastation. Yes, I grant this. I will wait until you have told the king and returned, she said, and here I am, your majesty. King, Mara, are you sure you saw and heard all this? Mara, how can I prove it, my lord? Here you see the mud on my clothes. When I fell prostrate before the goddess, all this mud stuck to me. King, I dare not think. I do not know what to do. In a moment or less I in this palace and my subjects. All right. Nothing so good as preparing for an end. Hey, call someone. Let an announcer go round with a beat of drums and announce to the people and to everyone in my kingdom that it is the last day of the world. The deluge is upon us. Tomorrow the sun will rise upon a lifeless land. Mara, your majesty, permit me to. King, tell me, what have you to say? Mara, I have a suggestion. King, go on. Mara, the goddess will keep her word. She has promised to wait till she sees me back there. Make it impossible for me to return there, your majesty. King, how? Mara, if your majesty's sword is there. King, no, no. What a horrible suggestion. Mara, or send for the executioner, my lord. My son is still sleeping in the hut. My last request is this: when I am gone, make him the watchman of the lake, and after him his son, and then his son's son, to the last generation of our family. Scene 5. In front of a shrine on the lake. Ganga and his son. Ganga, son, come here. Son, coming, father. Ganga, where were you all this time? Son, I was watching the gulls flying over the lake, father. How they skim and catch the fish. It is lovely to watch. Ganga, well, didn't you know this was the hour of worship at the shrine? Son, father, I forgot. Ganga, don't forget again. That is all I can say. I will be very angry if you miss another worship. You are old enough to realize your duties, I think. I was less than your age when I was ordered to take my father's place. Even my mother was away somewhere. The last I saw of my father was when I went to bed. When I woke up in the morning, the hut had blown off and the lake was nearly rolling over the shore. And whom should I see as soon as I got up but the king? He said my father was no more and ordered me immediately to do my father's duties. Soon after that he built the shrine, which looks over the lake. And on the day of dedication he was himself present. You see those two figures, son. The one on the top pedestal is the guardian goddess of this lake. And the one immediately below it is my father. By the king's order, worship is performed on the evenings of every Tuesday and Friday. Scores of people come from even distant towns for it. You must not miss a single one henceforth. Son, yes, father. Ganga, good boy. When I am gone, you must watch over this lake. After you, your son. Now come into the shrine and see the worship.